Hello, gorgeous actor. If you've started working on Shakespeare and you are trying to figure out how to say those weird word endings like giveth and lovest and accomplished and forced, all those weird suffixes, you want to know why they're there, how to say them in a way that's not going to sound weird, then great. That's exactly what we're going to do. If you haven't met me before, I am Sarah Gio. I am your new Shakespeare coach. And I thought what I do is give you the 3 big mistakes that I see people make when it comes to these weird word endings. Giveth, loved, all those sorts of things. So we're going to fix those for you. Let's do it. Okay, so the first big mistake is pronouncing it in a funky way, in a really weird, fancy pants way. Often when we come to Shakespeare, especially if you're very new to it, you might think that all of Shakespeare's characters are really lofty and everything in Shakespeare needs to be said very nicely with an English accent. No. Please put that in the bin. That is not a real thing. So please, firstly, use your natural accent. You should sound like you. They are just real people. Sometimes they're wearing a crown or a nice outfit, but they're just real people, right? So they should sound like you. So use your natural accent, and we're going to bring your natural accent to these particular words. Now, words like loveth and giveth and all those sorts of things, of course, we don't say that anymore. That this is early modern grammar. So it can be really distracting when you're trying to commit to the character and the emotion and be believable. So the thing that you can do to actually solve it is changing the vowel sound that you're using. Now that sounds kind of technical, but it's actually really easy. Just say out loud this sentence. I painted my bedroom. I'll just wait. Great, so you've said it, right? So if you heard when you said the word painted, you didn't say, I painted my bedroom, right? You didn't make it kind of a bright sound. You didn't say painted. You didn't lift the pitch or give it more emphasis than you usually would. You kind of let it drop off at the end of the word, and you used a neutral vowel sound, which we sometimes call a schwa. Painted, right? That's actually what you want to do with all these fancy pants Shakespeare words, because they're not supposed to be fancy pants. So if you've got a word like giveth or loveth, you can probably hear I'm kind of going th. I'm not going giveth, loveth. I'm not giving it more emphasis. I'm not making it longer. I'm not raising my pitch. I'm letting it drop like painted, painted, painted. Loveth, 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 right? So practice that sound. Go slowly. Just notice how it sounds when you say an everyday word like painted, and try and find that, whether it's the placement or, I like to imagine this letters UHD, painted, right? Loveth, right? Just practice it until it feels natural. Because ideally, we want to find that truthfulness in Shakespeare. We're not supposed to just be going over the top and la-di-da. You need to find that core of truth somewhere in there. And we don't want to be distracted. It's actually just like when you learn a new accent. If you're an actor that's learned a different accent, you'll know that for a while, it's very distracting to hear yourself speak in that other accent. And you need it to just get lived in. Okay, the second mistake is pronouncing every single ED that's on the page. So if you've got the word enforced, for example, does it need to be enforced or does it need to be enforced? Well, it depends. Yay, thank you, Sarah. It depends. That's so helpful. Okay, let me tell you why these things tend to pop up. Whether it's an ED, ETH, EST, there's 2 main reasons. It's either because of grammar, ye olde worldy grammar, or because of rhythm. So sometimes Shakespeare wants that pronounced ED, let's say, for the rhythm. And that's usually because he's trying to keep in that iambic pentameter rhythm you might have heard about before that goes dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. If you've got a line like Portia from The Merchant of Venice where she says, where men enforced do speak anything, she's pronouncing that ED to fit with that rhythm, to get her back on track for those nice 10 syllables. Where men enforced do speak anything. If I hadn't pronounced that ED, if I hadn't sounded it out as an extra syllable, it would only be 9 syllables and it would kind of throw me off that rhythm. Where men enforced do speak anything, right? It kind of doesn't work for the rhythm that he usually works with. This is a big topic, so if you're like, I don't get it, please don't panic, there's actually a way that you can check it. And it's very simple. Go online and check either Lit Charts or the Folger. So Lit Charts is great if you're a beginner. It's got that modern side-by-side translation, which is a great place to start. Obviously, you are going to write it out in your own words, aren't you? Yes, you are. Thank you. And the Folger is fabulous. It's obviously a very established edition and it's all online for free, and they actually mark the EDs with a little accent where you need to pronounce them, when you need to sound them out for that syllable. If you're new, please don't worry about this rhythm stuff. I actually have a video about that iambic pentameter stuff that breaks down why you don't need to worry about it so much, but also if you want to know more, it kind of explains what you can be thinking about. So I'm going to link that one for you. It's a good next step if you're coming to Shakespeare and you're like, I want to do it right, but I don't really get it. And I also have a whole playlist called Get Better at Shakespeare, so you can look at that as well. It's got heaps of technique stuff. And finally, our third mistake is also to do with pronouncing things where you don't need to, but this is a little different. I want you to be on the lookout for any words that have an apostrophe where you can see that it's kind of a contracted version, like we would have in the word don't or isn't. You know, we have a little apostrophe there to show that it's been shortened. You will sometimes see that pop up in Shakespeare. So if you have a line like, "Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face," you might notice that I contracted that word. I didn't say knowest, even though that is actually the word that Shakespeare's using. He's put a little apostrophe in there to show me that it needs to be contracted. And again, that's to fit with that rhythm. So I need to acknowledge that. So don't say knowest or like Puck's, thou speakst aright. I don't need to say thou speakest. Try and actually take that vowel sound actually completely out. Knowest, lovest, givest, speakst. It's hard sometimes. It's really hard sometimes, but you really want to try and take that vowel sound completely away if you see the little apostrophe. Again, sometimes you'll get a script where it's not marked. They might not even have that apostrophe there. It varies because these texts have been around for a long time and they've been edited in different ways. So keep an eye out for texts that have that marking. Congratulations, you're now a Shakespeare genius in less than 10 minutes. If you want to go further, I'm going to link on screen my iambic pentameter video and also my Get Better at Shakespeare playlist. There's plenty of stuff there to help you out if you are new, and I have heaps of monologue breakdowns if you're working towards an audition or exam. Okay, friends, thanks for being here. I hope you feel good about yourself for learning more today. Pat yourself on the back. Thanks so much, friends. See you in the next video.